Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Keith Brown, the deputy leader of the SNP, is quite delusional. He is mad, he is bonkers, or he is not in possession of the facts. He says that the SNP's best days lie ahead. He really needs to be paying attention. The SNP may not even be here in a month if they don't get their books sorted out. And he says they have nothing to hide. So really, Keith, nothing to hide? Then why all the secrecy? Why all the cover-ups? Why Sturgeon telling people not to ask about the accounts or to raise any issues about them, and certainly not to see the books, you know? Why all that secrecy, Keith, if they've got nothing to hide? And this openness and transparency, which they keep touting, and yet nothing has come of it. They won't even release the number of members that they have, because they know it would be depressing reading. And yet they still maintain this fraudulent claim that everything is fine, so they can continue to bring in donations and membership fees. It's all rather suspect. And of course the irony is that he, even though he's deputy leader, wasn't told about all the troubles with the books or the auditors resigning. So it's hardly a Pandora's box here that he's opening by saying that nothing, is secret and everything is open, and that this is all a minor thing that needs to go away quickly. If even the deputy leader doesn't know what's going on, what's the point of having a deputy leader? It's a figurehead. It's like the vice president. It's something you seem to have, but nobody knows what he does. Anyway, we'll take a look at this article to see why this delusional man is so insistent that the SNP even has a future. Here goes. So, the SNP has nothing to hide, says Deputy Leader, who was not told of the auditors quitting. A senior party figure acknowledges the need to rebuild trust, but argues that the SNP's best days lie ahead. Despite the current crisis with a police investigation into its finances, which has seen its former chief executive and treasurer arrested, they're both out of the picture at the moment, although one may come back if he can. But yeah, he's saying that there's nothing to hide. We don't have any secrets. And yet he didn't know about what was going on. There's a man walking down a corridor wondering, what level of crap am I going to have to deal with today? But of course he isn't, because he's only the deputy leader. So he's got no powers, no authority. Nobody cares. It's just a little name, isn't it? Something you put in his door, make him feel important. Anyway, SNP Deputy Leader Keith Brown has insisted the party has nothing to hide. So come on then, Keith, show us the books. Speaking to Sky News, Mr Brown acknowledged current challenges and the need to rebuild trust. That trust has gone, I think, forever. Nobody actually trusts you. They've seen the record. But he argued that the SNP's best days lie ahead as a crisis engulfs the party with a police investigation into its finances. Well, it's not just one crisis. It's many crises. Let's just pull that across a bit. It's many crises, because you don't only have the police investigation crisis, you've got the lack of funds crisis, you've got the donors leaving the party crisis, you've got members leaving the party crisis, you've got infighting, you've got fractionalisation, you've got half your party wanting to go and start another party, you've got people leaving and going across to other parties, you have got an absolute image problem, you've lost the trust of the people, even the media now, where previously they were on board, they were Access Media, they were kissing the ring, as it were, to maintain a good relationship. Even the media are turning on the SNP. In fact, the only people, it seems, still willing to support the SNP are the police. But you have to ask how much longer even that will be. So this claim that he's got a crisis is misleading, to say the least. But then they were always misleading people, aren't they? Both Peter Murrell, who is former First Minister Nicola Sturgeon's husband, and Colin Beattie were later released without charge after their arrests. But, of course, the investigation trundles on very slowly. And it's all about the 600,000. Stuart MacDonald, the SNP MP, has been appointed party treasurer, which is a key task for him, will be appointing auditors and accountants after the accountants Johnson Carmichael, who worked with the SNP for more than a decade, resigned because they realised that if they were to publish these books, put their name to them, they could actually lose their professional standing, and then they'd all be out of a job. It says here that the party's accounts are due to be filed to the Electoral Commission in July. They're due to be filed to the Scottish Electoral Committee by July. if they aren't in the Westminster electoral committees by the 31st of May, they lose their short money of £1 million a year, and that will destroy them. Pressed over when he knew when the auditors had quit, Mr. Brown said shortly before it became public. We're talking within the last couple of months. Playing down the move, he said, like many other auditors across the UK, the auditors employed by the SNP decided they were going to cut back the activities they were involved in, and that was true of many auditors and for many organisations. That is balls. I'm an accountant myself, and let me tell you that no accountants ever willingly give up clients because money. And if they are throwing away clients like this, it's because these clients are dodgy. They must be crook in some way. There's no way accountants throw away clients. It just isn't done. Arguing it was a matter for the ruling National Executive Committee rather than the wider party, he's added this was a fairly commonplace occurrence, so it wasn't a crisis that we didn't have auditors. This was a change of auditors. Yeah, but not at your half. It wasn't you changing your accountants. It was your accountants ditching you, and that should send alarm bells ringing. Anyway, he said it was a decision by the current auditors in common with many other businesses and third sector organisations across the UK to retract their business. Name me one single business that doesn't want to make money. Name me one business that was happy to lose clients. There aren't any. So he is absolutely either a moron or he's lying. If he's a moron, he shouldn't be in the job, and if he's lying, he should be sacked. So we'll let him decide what he should do. Resign or be sacked. Resign because he's a moron, or sacked because he's a liar, because they are the only two options available to him. Anyway, he said the work will be undertaken under the new National Treasurer to make sure we have auditors in place. The new National Treasurer cannot make auditors take on the job, you know. They cannot force auditors to do these things, but what they can do is completely not do anything at all, and have the Electoral Commission put in its own auditors, which is the last thing the SNP would absolutely want. Mr. Brown had previously been involved in drawing up governance reforms. Now, we've had the leadership here, Hamza Yousaf, saying the governance hasn't been good enough. The governance of the party has been weak. We need to improve the governance. Now here we have Mr. Brown, who's previously been involved in drawing up the governance reforms. Well, wasn't good enough, was it? So again, you have a man who's not capable of doing his job in a position of doing that job. He needs to go. He said, but these have been rejected by the NEC, so he can't do his job. It's simple. He says, I do regret the fact the party didn't take on some of those changes. So now he is saying that the party doesn't have a problem with secrecy. He's then said that he has tried to put these governance rules in, and the party's rejected them because they're too open and they're revealing. And yet he's still saying that the party doesn't have a problem with secrecy. You know, he's either stupid or he's lying. If he can't do this job, he needs to resign from the job. Anyway, he said it's incumbent upon everybody on the NEC to make sure that the party members and, of course, the public have faith in the transparency within the party. They can ask questions and have those questions answered. That would make a change, because you haven't answered any question at all. How many members do you currently have? How much money have you got in the bank? These are important questions, and nobody's answering them because they dare not. Mr. Brown added, we have nothing to hide. Well, that's plainly a lie. We are by far and away the biggest, most successful party in Scotland. He says, I believe the SNP's best days lie ahead of it, but let's make sure we are more transparent than any other party. It's not possible. If you were to be transparent, the rules and the secrets that come out would be like lifting a rock and letting all those things crawl out from under it. It would be turning people's stomachs, the things that the SNP have done, if the truth came out. And of course, the SNP, he says, has to take measures to rebuild its trust with both its members and the people of Scotland. Nobody trusts it. Even its own members are leaving because they cannot trust it. Even its own MSPs and MPs are thinking about it. There is a big rift in the party because there is no openness, there's no transparency, and nobody trusts the upper echelons, and especially not Continuity Hamza, who sat there, made a big thing of being the continuity candidate from the previous regime, which is now shown to be so corrupt. You've still got a corrupt leader. If not actually, then tainted. It is great though, isn't it? watching these people squirm and opening their mouths and actually watching the lies fall out of them. They have nothing to hide. You cannot move for the lies of this party. It is amazing. Anyway, I'm going to finish there and come up. Brown's claim that there's nothing to hide is quite clearly wrong. I mean, they hid stuff from him. They hid it from the NEC. They hid it from all these senior people. It was just this little cabal at the top that knew everything and that was covering everything up, hiding their nefarious deeds, one could say. And yet you're getting these people come out and say, oh, there's nothing to hide. Why aren't they coming out now and telling the truth and distancing themselves? Because it's likely that these three at the top are going to possibly be prosecuted. You need to distance yourself from this. These people are aligning themselves with a sinking ship. Oh, there's nothing to hide. We're the best. We're the best. Look at this. Oh, we're our best days ahead. Rather than saying, yes, there was a problem. We're walking over here because there was a problem with the previous regime. We need to distance ourselves from it. We are going to sort this out. No, they are tying themselves to the mast of a sinking ship. And it's wonderful. These people are so stupid, they don't even see what they're doing. They are so locked in that little bubble, that little ivory tower of Holyrood. They don't go out into the streets. They don't know what people are thinking. They don't know how loathsome they come across as. It's marvellous. When they do actually finally crash and burn, they will be in a state of shock, and it will last, some of them, quite a long time. And they just won't believe what will have happened to them. Their whole world will have crashed around their ears. Everything they've worked for, everything they've strived for, destroyed by crookery at the top. And it's crookery that, even if they're not involved, they're supporting instead of walking away or calling it out. They get all they deserve. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see in here on the channel, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. Always leave a like. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, don't be disillusional, and goodbye.